What's up, everybody? This is episode 7 of Ball Sports. I'm your host, Brandon, again. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I know I've been kind of iffy on when I've been updating and everything. I'm glad everybody still watches the videos, though. We're going to jump right into it. I'll start off with some UFC. I got some boxing. I'm going to talk a little bit about the NBA Summer League today. I got some stuff about OKC and just how the trades and what everything's looking like for them on the upcoming NBA offseason. We'll start out on UFC. If you don't keep up with UFC, Ben Askren got knocked out by Jorge Masvidal in 5 seconds. If you didn't watch it, it was crazy. Ben Askren's known for putting his head down and trying to tackle people as soon as the fight starts. When he was fighting Robbie Lawler, he did the same thing. He came in with his head down. He repetitively does that throughout his fights, and Jorge Masvidal just took advantage of one of the weaknesses in Ben Askren, who's a crazy good fighter, and I think he was 19-0 up until that fight. Jorge Masvidal just caught him slipping with the knee and knocked him out in 5 seconds. Just goes to show you that you're not invincible, even if you're 20-0, or that you can be the toughest guy you think, and one move can knock you out. John Jones beat Thiago Santos. I don't know if you watched that. Both of the fighters were in the hospital at the end of the fight. It was a very competitive fight, way more competitive than a lot of people would have thought. People thought John Jones was going to whoop him, and that wasn't the case. Thiago held his own. John Jones, being the amazing, great fighter that he is, though, he prevailed in the end. Ended up winning in this decision. I'm not sure what the scorecards were. I think it was just split decision. But John Jones came away with that like most people thought that he would. July 27th, we got Max Holloway, who did the bottle cap challenge where he kicked it and the bottle cap came off. July 27th, he'll be fighting Frankie Edgar, which I expect to be an amazing fight. Both of those guys are really great competitors, and I expect that to go the full round, so it'd be nice to watch that one. Still waiting on something to hear about Anderson Silva. I know he had a movie come out, so he's been kind of busy with that. And after the knee injury, he's taken some time off to rehabilitate that knee and get things back in order. But he said he wasn't retiring, so I expect to see him back in the octagon in the upcoming months, or hear something here soon about his future in the UFC. Boxing, I only got one update for boxing right now, but Manny Pacquiao's fighting Keith Thurman on the 20th of July. Rooting for Pac-Man as always. Pacquiao's a great boxer. I'm surprised that he's actually still fighting. Not to take away from Keith Thurman, who's a great fighter and one of the greats, depending on how you look at it. But Manny Pacquiao is Manny Pacquiao for a reason. I expect him to win that fight too. Coming up, we got the NBA Summer League. There's a lot going on in the Summer League with a lot of the rookies, different things going on. We'll start out, Zion got hurt in the Summer League, which is not good. I think it was a knee, again, due to his weight and how big he is. Those types of things are expected. So he's going to have to find the right weight that he can fit at to play NBA basketball, because it's showing that him being a little bit overweight and playing basketball is definitely taking a toll on his knees and on his ankles. This is his second leg injury. He had an ankle previously at Duke where he popped out of his shoe. And I hope the best for him, but being that big and playing the way he does, that's prone to happen with guys like that. I think he shouldn't have been playing in the Summer League to begin with. Zion has been looked at somebody like a Kobe or a LeBron. There hasn't been much hype around a player like this in a very long time. So him having that sort of celebrity status in the NBA, I don't think he should have been playing in the NBA Summer League. But that's beyond me. They let him play. He got injured. His first game, I'm pretty sure there was an earthquake that stopped his first game. And then he got injured his second game, which is sad to see. Hopefully he gets back on the court soon. Most people don't know this, but Giannis has a little brother. He's on the Mavs right now. He's playing in the Summer League, and he's showing good signs that he belongs in the league. I've watched a couple of his highlights. He looks just like Giannis. He plays just like Giannis, and it'll definitely be interesting to see how the little brother does. I'm looking forward to seeing Bol Bol play in the regular season. Bol Bol was the son of Hall of Famer Monte Bol. Despite Bol Bol only being 208 pounds, but he's 7'2", that kind of shows concern because the opposite of Zion, Bol Bol needs to gain weight. That is not a healthy weight to be at when you're over 7 foot tall. He's only 208 pounds, and he's prone to leg injuries, which I'm pretty sure he played, I think, 7 games in college last year and then took a leg injury. So being that tall, you need to add a little bit more weight or your legs are prone to injury. The Heat drafted Tyler Herro. Definitely a good player. He's standing out throughout the summer league, and a lot of people didn't expect that. We got Taco Fall taken by the Celtics. He wasn't drafted, but he was picked up later on draft night as a free agent. Taco Fall is 7'7" tall. If you don't know him, he kind of went viral a couple years ago just for being so tall. I think he played at the University of Central Florida, I think is what it was. I'm not sure. He was a good player there. They went to the NCAA tournament and ended up coming up short against Duke, which Zion was playing for at the time. But it'll be interesting to see how Taco develops his NBA game. We haven't had somebody that tall be that successful besides Yao Ming and play for a long period of time. And even Yao Ming took his knee injuries at the end of the career. So I hope the best for Taco Fall, and it'll definitely be interesting to see how he progresses. Carson Edwards, he's only 6 foot tall. He also plays for the Boston Celtics with Taco Fall. Carson Edwards is averaging 20 points on 50% shooting in the summer league, which is not bad if you think about it. He's just now coming into the league. He's only 6 foot tall, running point guard, which 6 foot tall isn't short, but if you're in the NBA, it definitely is short. Moving on, we're going to talk about my team, OKC. The beginning of the offseason started. We traded Paul George to the Clippers for Daniel Gallinari, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and 4 first-round picks, and then 2 pick swaps, which means we can swap them picks in 2 years. Next came, we traded Jeremy Grant to Denver for a draft pick, adding on to the collective amount of draft picks that we acquired this offseason. And then here comes the biggest news. Westbrook got traded to Houston for Chris Paul and 2 first-round picks. Didn't expect that coming. Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook get paid virtually the same amount. So it was interesting to see OKC trade them for Chris Paul, who definitely isn't the player Russell Westbrook is, and absorb that kind of contract from Chris Paul, which Chris Paul got paid the same amount as Westbrook. So it was kind of weird to see them trade their star player off and only take draft picks and not take at least another player who is on the level of Westbrook. I thought it was definitely a questionable move, but Sam Presti's known to make questionable moves, so you got to be prepared, especially being an OKC fan. There's been plenty of all-stars that have came in and out of our organization, and it's sad to see. I always have love for OKC, but I don't like the things that they do as far as the front office. And at the end of the day, I'm a Westbrook fan, and I'm going to go where Westbrook goes. That's why I'll be rooting for Houston. I'll be rooting for OKC still. I hope they still do good. This offseason, the Thunder are set to rebuild. I doubt Chris Paul ever plays a game for OKC, if you want to ask me. I hope that's their plan, but my plan is Chris Paul in somewhere else. I think I've seen a report he doesn't want to play in OKC, and I don't see why he would. So I don't think Chris Paul, you'll ever see him in an OKC uniform. OKC could have up to 13 first-round picks and 6 second-rounders over the next 7 drafts. That is a lot of draft picks that they have acquired this offseason due to trading Paul George and Russell Westbrook. Each team is only given 1 first-rounder and 1 second-rounder per year, and they have 13 first-rounders and 6 second-rounders in the next 7 drafts. So that tells you that they acquired a lot of draft picks, and they're planning for the future. However, depending on how good the Clippers are and how good Houston is for the next couple years will depend on how good those draft picks end up being. Sad to see Westbrook go in OKC. He was the all-time leader for points, usage rating, and free throws made, free throws taken. Yeah, but it's definitely sad to see the end of an era in OKC with Westbrook being gone and Steven Adams being really the only all-star left to be there. I feel bad for him. Everybody else is really going out the door, and it'll be interesting to see what OKC does in the next upcoming years. They have a lot of draft picks, but like I said, it depends on how good the Clippers are, and it depends on how good Houston is, depending on how good them picks are going to be. I'd like to see Houston do good this year. I think him, as far as Russell Westbrook and James Harden is concerned, I think they'll be a great duo. They played together in OKC before, and they have a lot of team chemistry. Clint Capella is a great center there. Eric Gordon can shoot the three ball. PJ Tucker can shoot the three ball. And I definitely expect Houston to make some noise, a lot more noise than a lot of people expect them to this year. Russell Westbrook definitely is a way better player than Chris Paul, and you can't imagine that they got any worse from this trade. And the only thing that's been stopping the Houston Rockets for the last couple of years is the Golden State Warriors. And with that addition of Westbrook, I think it'll be definitely interesting to see how this playoffs turns out. But thank you guys for tuning in. This has been another episode. Thank you guys for watching my videos, liking them, and commenting and everything. It goes a long way. Appreciate you guys, and thank you for tuning in.